Hey everyone, welcome to the Captain Drone YouTube channel. My name is Steve, and in my hands I have the brand new iFlight Defender 20 Lite. Now this Defender Lite is brand new on the market for the year 2025, and it's called Lite because it has the DJI O4 light system in it, and it's called the Defender 20 because it has 2-inch props. 20 is like 2 for 2-inch props. But it's not the first of its kind from iFlight. They did in the past make the Defender 16, so this has 1.6-inch props. And they also made the Defender 25, the way I say Defender. They made the Defender 25, and this here has 2.5-inch props. It's quite large compared to this little 20, but it's large compared to the tiny little 16. But here is the interesting thing. Let me show you this. This is the 16. I always knew the Defender products to be very good for beginners and have really cool LED lights. Watch when I power this on. Once, twice on the nose, it comes to life. And look at this. You have lights up here, LED lights that change, and you could configure them to any color you want, and you have them on the arms. It looks awesome at night when flying. And here I have the big iFlight Defender 25. When I plug it in, check this out. The prop guards glow. So when you fly this at night, it looks pretty cool. So when I got this new model, the Defender 20, I thought, wow, where's the glowy lights? I can't see them. Oh, they must be someplace. I'll plug in the battery. Let's check it out. There's nothing. The only thing that glows is the little green light coming off the DJI O4 light system. But I think what iFlight was shooting for with the Defender 20 is a drone that doesn't weigh very much, so it's under 250 grams, and they wanted a long flight time. In my tests, I was getting a long flight time. You'll see how long I got in the videos. You do have to use their 2S batteries. All the Defenders are like that. And since they make this for beginners, that 2S battery, if you get the basic kit, comes with this. This is the battery charger. But if you notice at the end, they want you to plug this into a battery charger that you own. So they want you to put the XT60 and the balance cable into the charger to charge a 2S battery. But if you know nothing about how to charge a battery, this is going to look foreign to you. So for that reason, they sell the USB charger, which I happen to have here, that charges up 3 batteries at once. I've only got 2 batteries, so that's all I can load it up with. That's all I could load it up with for my review. And you just plug a USB-C here and it charges them up. So you don't have to know anything about how to charge a battery. I don't know why they didn't include this with this entire drone, because for a beginner, this would be perfect. Everybody knows USB, but charging stuff up with a battery charger, beginners usually don't have that or have any knowledge how to charge a battery. And if you're wondering, these little 2S batteries have a capacity of 600 milliamp hours, and when you put them in the little Defender 20, like I said, it's under 250 grams, and you do get a very long flight time. Let me tell you a little bit more about this guy before I take it for a flight outdoors and then indoors. First off, the flight controller in this thing, very tiny. It's an F4 flight controller, but a very modern F4 flight controller, and you can tell it's modern because when this flies, it's very smooth. The tiny little brushless motors on here are 1103 motors at 14,000 kV, I believe. And the 3-bladed props that you put on here, you just push them on, and since this is the Defender 20, those are 2-inch 3-bladed props. I believe they're branded by iFlight. This camera in the front, the DJI O4 camera, light camera, you can push it with your thumb and you can move it up. If you move it up to something like 45 degrees, then of course when you fly, the drone has to fly like this. And if you fly like this, your max speed is around 75 kilometers per hour. So yes, you could use this little guy as a race drone if you desire, but if you put the camera down and have it point almost straight forward, you can fly it indoors, as you'll see me do in this review. Since it has the DJI O4 camera system and the recording system, which has onboard memory, I think you have 23 gigs of memory in here to store all your 4K 60 frames per second video. I was a little worried when I got this because it has this little stubby antenna at the back. It's very small, and I was like, ooh, that's not going to have much of a range. This thing has an incredible range. Let me tell you the following, and then let me go back to the range. This thing is rated for level 3 winds. I flew it outdoors in level 5 winds, and I almost lost it. And it went so far behind me, it flew behind me over houses and everything super far away, and I was facing this way, and this is way in the back. The range on this is incredible. I never lost connection, although my radio was squawking that I was about to lose connection, but the video in my DJI O3 goggles, never lost it, clear as can be. So I did get this back eventually, flying it right back to me. And thank God it has a long flight time and a really good range. And the last thing I want to say before I show you my flight footage is that if you come from the DJI world and you want to use your DJI FPV Remote 2 or 3, make sure you get the receiver in here that is PNP. PNP. Plug and play. If you want to be like me and fly it with an ELRS radio, well then get it with the ELRS receiver. The only thing I will say is that, you know where they put the receiver? It's going to be a problem in this video, but anyways, the receiver's right here, right behind the camera, and for me, it was pushed against my camera and causing my camera to be still and not being able to vibrate. So if you order this with ELRS and you go outside and fly and you got lots of jello in the image, check your ELRS receiver so that it's not pushing against your camera. Push it away from your camera. So let's start off with a few things. We'll start off with how loud are the props. I'll do a prop noise test outside. Then I'll show you my outdoor flight where I almost lost this because I flew it behind me in the wind and the wind took it away. And then I'll show you my indoor flight, and I was trying to get on the indoor flight the longest flight time possible. So that will tell you how much flight time you get on this battery. Anyways, watch all that, then the unboxing, then come back to me and I'll give you my positives and negatives. Now this drone is rather small, so I'm assuming it's not going to make a lot of noise. But let's test out the noise, the prop noise test right now. I'm going to fly it right here, and I'll get this mic to pick up the sound, and we'll see how noisy it is. So the drone automatically powers on once you insert the battery, and the battery is a tight fit. It goes in, so you push it in nice and slow. And there we go, she's powered on. All right, let's get in the camera so we can put this little guy down right about here. Actually, I'll stand all the way back on the grass over here. All right, let's take it up. Oh, you know what? It hits rocks if it's on the ground down there. The props do because they're pusher props, but here we go. Well, it's right beside me. That's as loud as it gets. So honestly, it's not that loud. It is getting pushed around by the wind out here, but other than that, it's pretty decent. It's almost hitting my nose. But yeah, pretty good. I could probably catch it. Nope. Okay, so Butterfingers Captain Drone is going to go take this for a flight. Now we're going to take it for the maiden flight. It's early morning, next to nobody's around, so this is going to be awesome. And these batteries, I find, are a really tight fit to get them in. Like, you can slam them in there, but if you push them in too far, it doesn't connect. It's got to connect at the right point. So you push them in kind of slow, and then they click. Hear that sound? But it hasn't clicked yet. There's the click. So you get that sound, then you get the click. Now when I took off from the ground, the props were hitting the little pebbles and rocks on my driveway. So I'm going to take off from my wife's brand new car. And I'm just going to stick this up here on top and fly over my head. Well, here, I'll fly right at my head a little bit that way. There we go. And the sun has gone behind a cloud, so this might be not the sunniest of flights. Okay, so we're in acro air mode. Let's go. I'll keep it close to me at first. The first thing that surprised me about the Defender 20 is that you can fly it very slow in acro mode. So I'm flying in acro air mode and I can hover the Defender 20 right in front of me. And you can also fly it at a very slow, smooth speed if you want. So here I am going down my street at a nice, comfortable speed. In addition, the winds are picking up low to the ground. So as I turn the Defender 20 around, it gets pushed by the wind back towards me. But I will say, it's still very easy to control in the wind. No problems. You can see the drone is hardly even tilting side to side. Now if you tilt the camera up, you can go faster, but I find the faster you go, the more jello is in the image. You'll see that things bounce around quite a bit. I don't know if it's the wind or I think it's the speed. I think it's the props and the motors just spinning so fast they're causing vibrations and you get jello. For freestyle flying, it's okay, but you will get prop wash each time you come out of a maneuver. Now take note of this little kid on a bicycle. You can see him right here, and you can also see him in my ground camera. He's riding by. He's going to be prominent when I almost lose this little drone. So now the winds are beginning to pick up, and this is where things begin to go wrong. So I'm flying around, I'm going to fly over my house. The winds are pretty strong up here, and I'm noticing that, I'm starting to get bounced around in the air, but I still have control, so I bring it down a little bit. But now I'm going to try some more freestyle maneuvers. There's one, there's another, here's another, and here's another. The wind has blown me backwards, and I don't realize it, and I no longer have any idea where I am. But wait, there's that little kid on a bike. He can't be too far away, so I must be going in the right direction, correct? Nope. Look at me, I'm flying in the wrong direction. From up in the air, nothing looks familiar. What are these intersections? Where's the main street? Hey, there's that little kid on the bike. I'm gonna come down and maybe I'll land beside him and hopefully he'll bring the drone back. But then I see a bus. A bus means a major route. So I follow that route until I come to an intersection. And then when I hit the intersection, things start to look a little familiar. Yes, I'm heading back to my location. Now look at my battery voltage on the left. It's not too bad at 3.5, but it is pretty low. If that goes down to 3.4 or 3.3, this might fall out of the sky. But luck is on my side and I get the drone back safely. And after I land, the little kid comes riding by, so maybe if I had landed beside him, he would have brought it back. I have the iFlight Defender 20 Lite in my hands and I'm going to do the indoor flight. You've already seen the outdoor flight. There was some jello. I almost lost it. I've already taken this around. I flew around my house quickly. There's no jello, so this is kind of strange. So indoors, those rubber grommets, I don't know, for whatever reason, they work. But out in my cold, they don't work. Also, I checked inside the camera. I can see that I have the ELRS receiver pushing up against the camera. So I've pushed it back because if it pushes up against the camera, it stops the camera from moving. So if I push these two rubber grommets down, right in the back, I'll put an arrow pointing at it. That is the ELRS receiver and it pushes against the camera and stops it from moving. So that causes some vibrations, but like I said, I've pushed it back. So look at these rubber grommets. So there is a tiny bit of play at the camera to go side to side, which is a good thing. And those rubber grommets on the side, you see them here and over on the opposite side. Those allow for vibrations up and down. So watch, I could squish them. So that's your vibrations. But they are very, very, very stiff. So you need really warm or hot weather for them to be malleable. So as I mentioned, I already flew around the house once, banged into a few things, but I didn't have any vibrations in the image. I couldn't see it in the goggles. So something weird's going on. Every time I get a DJI O4 air camera system, they are so susceptible to vibrations from the most minor of things. Normally vibrations are caused by the props, the motors, those rubber grommets, or the cold outside. So I'm going to take it for a flight indoors. I'm using my Boxer Crush radio and I have set the timer to 5 minutes. And the reason I set it to 5 minutes is because I find this guy's got quite a long flight time. So here's my plan. I'm going to fly it around the house until the battery runs down. As soon as I get to about, let's say 3.4 volts, which is pretty low, you'd want to land at that. As soon as I get to that, I'll land and I'll tell you how much flight time it was. So here we go. So can you see me way back here? I have this little guy. I'm going to plug it in. Get the sound happening, and let me just move this chair so you can see what I'm doing. I'm putting it on the table right over here because I'm going to fly that way. All right, here we go. Give it some forward momentum. Let's go over the gates at first just so I can get used to it because it does fly quite fast. I have adjusted the camera up front so that it's not facing up in the air, and I've got it at a level I think is okay for flying indoors. I think I do anyways. So here we go. So how's the image? One thing I should mention, if you've never flown the DJI O4 system, you just saw it happen there, is that the camera is zoomed in. So when I think I'm around a corner, I'm not around the corner. So right there I banged into the wall, but this baby has got what is called prop guards. So you can smash into all sorts of things and not worry. Okay, I've been flying for 1 minute and we're at 3.7. Okay, I've been flying for 2 minutes and we were at 3.6. So 2 minutes, I'm at 3.6, so 3.7. Okay, here we go. Try not to hit me. And I'll come back when we're flying for much longer. Flying for 3 minutes and I'm at 3.6, 3.66, something like that. All right, I've been flying for 4 minutes. And what am I at? Let me just look over on my left. 3.63, 3.64. That's not bad. That's pretty good. That's 4 minutes of flight. Okay, so you hear that countdown? That's counting down to 5 minutes.
20.
And yeah, that'll be a 5-minute flight. And we can take a look at the left at my voltage. And I'll just go over that. And I'm not that bad. Okay, I've been flying for 6 minutes and I'm at 3.55, which is not bad. All right, I'm at 7 minutes and look at my screen. It says land now and look at my voltage. It dropped really fast there. It just fell out of the sky. So 7 minutes was it. There we go. The only thing I'm worried about is when you fly for that long and it falls out of the sky, sometimes it loses the video recorded on the little unit itself because it doesn't have enough power to save the information. Yeah, so that's impressive. A 7-minute flight time on this little guy. Now, when I flew indoors, I was flying in angle mode because I didn't want to bang up the walls or anything. I also had the camera pointing straight ahead so it would fly slower. So that gave me 7 minutes. Obviously, if I go outside and I raise the camera way up to go super fast and I fly in acro mode, I'm not going to get 7 minutes because I'm going to be fighting winds and other things and flips and rolls, and it's going to reduce my time. Here we have the box the Defender arrives in. On the side of the box would be the specifications, and those are the specifications of the drone I used in this review video. One nice thing is that the Defender arrives in a hard case, and upon opening the hard case you will find your Defender and accessories. The Defender does arrive fully assembled, you just need to charge up the battery. And to charge the battery, an adapter is provided, which allows you to connect it to your RC home charger. For accessories, you receive spare props, some tools, a sheet of spare rubber feet. If you have an ELRS receiver, you receive an ELRS manual. You also receive a brochure that talks about customer support and repair centers. And of course, no drone would be complete without a sheet of stickers. If you think you're going to crash this drone often, I highly recommend you pick up spare prop guard. Total weight of the drone with a battery is only 106 grams. Alright, so you're back to me. Let me give you my negatives and positives. Let's start off with the negatives. So negative number 1 is this frame. I was wondering why they sent me a spare frame. A lot of times when you order one of these quads, it's a good idea to get a frame because if you crash a lot, you're going to break the frame, especially if the frame is designed to be lightweight so that it keeps the weight of the whole entire drone down under 250 grams. And yes, flying this indoors, smashing into the walls and the furniture, I broke the frame. I have some black electrical tape holding it together back here. Next negative is that for beginners, they include this in the kit. This is designed for a battery charger that you must own, and most beginners have no idea how to use a battery charger. Especially if you come from the DJI world, you are clueless in how to use a battery charger. But you can learn, we all have. But I was surprised that they didn't include something like this, the USB charger. No, they make this an accessory, so that's kind of a negative. And the last negative would be that the batteries are proprietary. You cannot use your own batteries unless you rewire it. You know, people like me can easily figure this out. And there's tons of people out there like me, because where the power source goes right inside, you can disconnect it and hook it up to an XT60 or an XT30 and then hook your own batteries on in the back here. But enough about the negatives, because we want to talk about positives, right? So positive number 1 is that it's very small. It's very quiet. You can fly this around people and they probably wouldn't even notice it flying around them. It's very fast if you want to go fast, and it's very slow if you want to go slow. So it's an indoor-outdoor quad. Other positive is its tuning. The tuning is super smooth. So this thing here, when you fly it indoors or outdoors, it flies very nice. It's tuned very well. So I think even if you are a beginner with very little experience, I won't say beginner with no experience, but a beginner with very little experience, you would be able to fly this with no problem. And the last positive is long flight time. You get a pretty decent flight time out of this thing, and that's probably why they didn't put the LED lights anywhere, because LED lights would suck out some more power, and they knew, well, you know what, the selling point on this is going to be the flight time. And for many of you out there who are into the FPV hobby, you know you're probably thinking the same thing I am, that if I bought this, the first thing I would do is take the prop guards off, because you don't need prop guards. Prop guards are only designed for flying indoors, not for outdoors. So if you're going to fly indoors, put the prop guards on. If you're going to fly outdoors, take the prop guards off, and this thing will probably even fly even better, especially in freestyle. All right, so this brings me to the end of this video. If you have questions on this baby, post your questions below and I'll get back to you. If you enjoyed this review, well then please give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. And stay tuned to my channel because many more cool product reviews are on the way. Until then, I say bye.